My name's Kyle Lovelady. I'm from the foothills, directly east of Modesto, California.
Come on in, the water's fine!
I got into gold mining when I was hanging out with my good buddy, and he had this wild idea to go into a mine. I had kind of discovered instant passion.
Old timers of the 1840s, 50s, and 60s, maybe even up to the 1910s. They stacked a lot of rock and they worked hard to get the gold that they got out of these hills. We're gonna climb this. This is all rock that's been stacked, and since it had basically mud on it at one point because it was part of a riverbank, it's grown moss over the top of it in the last 100 years or so. In the old days, when the West was still wild, the miners would have what were called hydraulic monitors, and they would take pipe as big as 18 inches around, a couple miles up the river, plumb it all the way down, and collect that pressure with what's called head. They would use that water and spray the hillsides here like we are right here, and you can see that red dirt that they were after that was coming off the hill. They put it through a sluice box. So I think that they dredged this hole right down here because if you look down there, you can basically see that there's just bare bedrock underneath the water. And in recent years, nothing's really stormed hard enough to kind of put a lot of river rock and sand back in those holes.
I like gold mining because working with nature the most efficient way possible, deal with the terrain, the river, the water, just moving rocks. Basically understanding the specific gravity of a certain earth metal and kind of chasing after it.
So we got the sluice box set up right here. Basically the river's got a little bit of drop here and it's flowing somewhat swiftly. The water that's captured inside of this bottom chamber basically builds pressure, and then it shoots that pressure down at like a 60-degree angle into this chamber in the back, which is called a fluid bed. So all the light stuff will go into the bed and basically float right out the back, but the heavies will fall down and settle into this back chamber.
Modern day prospecting and people who are out there on a small scale don't do the slightest amount of damage necessarily to a creek bed.
Just looking for some real coarse river gravels that have been stuck here, and a good layer of hard pan, hard packed material.
All that we're doing is taking dirt from one spot and basically moving it and putting it in another spot in the creek. We're not introducing anything that would be detrimental to the health of the river. Basically everything that I put into it is minimal. I have no overhead with gas costs aside from driving my truck down the dirt road to get to where I want to go. The amount of dirt that I move in a given day is probably a very small fraction of what, the material that, say, a large corporate mine would be used to move.
So now that we took what was in the sluice box and we put it in this bucket, I'm going to pan it out. So when you're panning, you want to shake up everything real well so that way the gold settles at the bottom. Little piece right there.
Little glint of gold, little glimmer of hope in the pan at the end of the day. So this is about a ½ ounce of gold, and this is what a one summer of prospecting basically netted us. This is Butte Creek gold. It's roughly $600 at the moment. Gold is just the incentive to getting out into nature and experiencing every little strand of life that's going on out there, and kind of just realize that nature does exist and the world really is spinning, and animals are out there and trees are growing, and there's organisms everywhere around you, and the river is infinite. It's just always flowing. It's just never really stops. So it's constantly cutting through these canyons, and just get out there basically is the most important part, and enjoy it.
Want to sleep a little more, dream a little more, and find out what you're looking for.